Hello, everybody. It's December 4th, 2025. This is Sarah Elise, an evolutionary astrologer from Toronto, Canada, and I'm putting this video out for my newsletter community today to talk about our full moon in Gemini that's happening later on this afternoon at approximately 6:13 or 6:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, this is a very interesting full moon because the sun and the moon are opposite each other at 13 degrees of Gemini and Sagittarius, which is exactly squaring the nodal axis. And the nodes of the moon are the evolutionary imperative or the evolutionary turning that the collective is in at any one particular time. So what that means is that this full moon, which is a supermoon and a very out of bounds moon, by the way, is a turning point for the collective. And it's also a turning point for us individually. Now, in order to understand how to work with a full moon, you have to go back to the new moon that happened 2 weeks ago. Because the way that our evolution works on this planet is in spirals or in cycles of time. Nothing is static. Everything is turning. Everything is in a dynamic of change or a circular motion. The lunation cycle is the closest evolutionary cycle that we can tap into as human beings on the planet. And every 29 and a half days, we go through an entire evolutionary turn from new moon to new moon. The full moon part of that is the point in the cycle where we see completely where we've come, what changes have been made, and where we're going. It's a climax moment. It's a change point. It's a time of revelation, acknowledgement, and choice so that we can launch forward toward the next cycle in a new way. So if we want to understand what today's commandment is, we have to look back 2 weeks ago to where we were on November 20th, 2025, early in the morning, around 1:47 a.m. Eastern Standard, or the late night on the 19th, at the new moon, which happened at 28 degrees of Scorpio. Now, the new moon was really cool this time. First of all, Mercury was retrograde at exactly 28 degrees of Scorpio. So it brought the mind and alchemy together for this lunation. Okay, so the mind, Mercury, and alchemy, Scorpio, has been a major theme of the last 2 weeks. How we think we are, always. And transformational thoughts, or looking backward in time and pulling up old things, dead things, things that we don't like, things that we don't want to look at, all the scorpionic muck going down into the underworld, hashing through it, cycling through it, old thoughts, old ways of thinking, old stories coming up to be seen and transformed. Now, even more interesting part of that new moon is that it was opposite Uranus. It was trining Jupiter in Cancer, trining Saturn, Neptune in Pisces, and sextiling Pluto. So it had positive, easy access to every transpersonal planet possible, not to mention Jupiter. So that, first of all, there's a lot of emotion these last 2 weeks, but more than emotion. This was a time, these last 2 weeks, of massive spiritual upgrade, massive evolutionary potential, collectively and personally. For one, I have experienced an unbelievable amount of transformation in the last 2 weeks. It's been subtle and not subtle simultaneously. It's like I got the clock of me, or the like I got my soul scrubbed, or I got an upgrade. I got elevated. I got brought up into a frequency that feels more like myself than I've ever felt before. Authentic, clear, strong, grounded, unified, present. And the journey that I've taken to get here has been interesting, as it has been for all of us. And at this full moon point, my job and your job is to look back over the last 2 weeks and say, what has the transformation been? What has the state change, the alchemical transmutation been? Where am I now? And Gemini, how do I change my mindset or open my reality up to embody this change and move forward with a perspective shift that is new. Because interestingly, Scorpio, the owner of this whole cycle, and Gemini, the owner of the full moon, are both alchemical signatures. Alchemy in different ways, yet both of them rule transformation. Now, I'll explain what I mean by that. Scorpio, which is traditionally known to be the alchemist, it's known to be transmutation, state change. So Scorpio goes in and it destroys, it breaks things from inside, it kills them and transmutes them into new form. It's like the classic caterpillar, chrysalis, butterfly, transformational alchemy. But Gemini is also an alchemist. And we often don't talk about Gemini in its highest potential. Gemini is the wizard. Because think about this. Gemini can go from the very bottom of hell to the highest heights of heaven in the flash of an eye. There is no limitation to where Gemini's mind can travel. And Gemini knows at a higher level that words are spells. We create our reality with our mind. That's where everything starts. In the beginning was the word, the thought of God. We are mental creatures. We create reality through our thoughts, always internal and external, through our words, through our stories, through the way we narrate reality. You want to see how this is expressive of reality? Just turn on YouTube. You can tap into anybody's little thought form and see how their reality has sprouted up to completely reflect back to them the story that they're telling, the curiosities that they have. Now, at today's lunation, we're sitting at a crossroads. But what kind of crossroads is it? Well, we've got a south node of Virgo that's been hunting us for about all of 2025. And we've got a north node of Pisces that is inviting us for at least another 6 months. We're in the middle, the very middle of our nodal axis cycle. The south node of Virgo is all about crisis. It's all about criticism. It's all about negativity. It's all about persecution. It's all about raging against the violation. It's about suffering and separation. It's about moral high grounds. It's about victimization, victimizing, persecution. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. It's about me, I'm wrong, or you're wrong, blame or shame. Now, the north node of Pisces is about trust, oneness, redemption, holism, unity, forgiveness, love, being one with God, with the universe, knowing that this place is safe, that the whole thing is perfect. And our mind can go to either of these realities, whether we choose or not. So this crossroads, the way I'm looking at it, I'm seeing the stories that are associated with my past self, with the parts of me that fall down, with the parts of me that identify as crisis, victim, less than, subjugated, at the mercy of. And I'm looking at the thought forms that are associated with wholeness, the parts of me that want to be in this totally different state, this totally unified, powerful, beautiful state. And my mental body, my mind, has to choose. Which way do I want to go? My son, my 17-year-old son, to me in the car this morning, of course, God always reflects us back to ourselves. I said to him, I asked, he's in grade 12, and I said to him, Ami, are you glad that you moved to this high school in grade 10, that you made that choice? And he looked at me and he said, Mom, I don't think like that. I don't go backwards. I don't regret. Stay in the moment, Mom. Stay in the moment and be grateful. Move forward, Mom. Life is about movement. It's about evolution. Rise to it. And I looked at him and I said, yeah, you're right, Thank you for that reminder. What a perfect message for me to get today on this full moon of Gemini. squaring the nodes. So may we all take a little of this sage double Pisces advice today on this full moon day and say, today is not about looking backwards. Today is not about suffering. It's not about all the stories that keep us trapped in a prison of our own delusion. Today is about upgrading. It's about beat matching our mental attitude to the new state that is being asked for us to move into. That's what today is. You can see the whole thing, yet you are the one who decides. And I'll leave you with one little mantra of today, which has been a mantra for me as a double Gemini for the last 20 years or so. Live by design, not by default. That's today's full moon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.